Taking a look at the Calgary real estate market in September 2024 versus September 2025, and then the previous month of August 2025. Sometimes you got to know where you came from to know where you're going. Big John Peterson here. Welcome to the Market Minute for October the 3rd, 2025. What we want to do is put numbers into perspective because every time a market shifts, whether it's getting better, or maybe softening a little bit, normalizing. Everyone's looking for context here. And what I want to do is provide the monthly context for you. So let's jump into these numbers so you can see where we are at. So in September 2024, then September 2025, then looking at August 2025. So year over year, and then the previous month. 2,000 sales last September. This September down a little bit, 1,720. And that is down a little bit from August of this year at 1,958. So the sales numbers softened a little bit. Usually we see them picking up in September. We're going to really be looking at this over a week basis to see if there is some strength that comes back into the sales because of interest rate declines, maybe a little bit of increased affordability with price reductions. New listings coming into the market, about 3,700 came into the market last September, almost 3,800 this September, and 3,500 in August. So those numbers are fairly expected, fairly stable. Total inventory last year was 5,100 units in inventory. This year it's almost 7,000. Last month it was about 6,700. So 7,000 units. What does that mean? It's a little on the high side. That's mostly driven by inventory and apartment style condominiums. The rest of the market is fairly balanced, which you're going to see in the new listings to sales ratio and months of supply. So new listings to sales. Again, we're using the same 3 time periods as comparison. What we're looking for is zero point 0.4 to 0.6 of a sale for every new listing coming into the market. And in a perfect world, about 0.5 or higher for a really good, stable market. The higher the number of sales for new listings, the stronger the market is, meaning more of a seller's market. The lower that number is, then it means that there are more listings coming out versus sales. Months of supply in the market, again, ideally in a balanced market, what we're looking for is around 3 months worth of supply up to about 3.5. Once we start hitting 4 months of supply or higher, we start to see some downward pressure on prices. So when we go through and look at it, we saw last September overall 0.54 of a sale with a 2.5 months worth of supply. This year in September, 0.45 of a sale. So that number's down. Months of supply is up to 4. Last month it was 0.57 with 3.3 months worth of supply. So again, months of supply increasing a little bit. Not quite as many sales for every new listing coming in. Need to see if that's a trend that continues through the month of October. Single family detached. A year ago, we saw that there was 0.53 with 2.5 months worth of supply in the market. 0.45 with 3.7 months worth of supply this year, and 0.57 with 3.1 months worth of supply. So again, trending up a little bit in the marketplace. When we look at the townhomes, 0.62 a year ago with 2 months worth of supply. Now those numbers have come down this month substantially. 0.43 of a sale with 4 months worth of supply. So it caught, or sorry, 0.51 with 3.6 months worth of supply in the market. Last month it was 0.62 with 3.2. So again, that trend continuing. When we go through and look at half duplexes, semi-detached properties, and in that category, and the apartment style condos, this is where we see the numbers are increasing a little bit. So half duplexes, what we saw is 0.21 months worth of supply in the market, with about 0.6 of a months of supply, or sorry, sales to new listings. This month it was 0.43 of a sale for every new listing. That number is increased now, months of supply up to 4. Last month it was 0.67 with 2.7 months worth of supply. So again, We saw a lot of those half duplexes, infill developments, things like that coming into the market over the last month. Now, apartment style condominiums, this is where we see the most supply in the market. So a year ago, we're sitting at about zero point 0.5 of a sale, 3.2 months worth of supply. Now we're sitting at about zero point 0.4, a little bit over zero point 0.4 with 5 months worth of supply. Last month, it was zero point 0.5 with 4.4 months worth of supply. But because the sales to new listings has been sitting in that lower range for a few months now, we're seeing that the months of supply are increasing. Sales are still occurring, but a lot of new inventory causing prices to come down. What does all of this mean? It means that in general, we're in a fairly balanced marketplace. What we're seeing, with the exception of apartment style condominiums, we are in a bit of a buyer's market there, prices coming down significantly. Have prices come off of the peak numbers? Yes, they have a few percentage points, but that is not a bad thing. It's actually healthy for our market. So if you're looking to say, geez, what's my home worth? What's a home on my street worth? What I'm looking at, homesaleprices.ca is going to be where you can go to find that information instant. Just put in the address of the property, your email address, it'll email you an automated report in seconds. Takes about 30 seconds. If you want a detailed outline of everything, please reach out to us and we will provide custom data for you. Hopefully this has put everything into perspective. The market isn't as strong as it was a year ago, 18 months ago. Inventory numbers are up, but prices are also up. You take a look versus a few years ago, prices are up significantly. It is healthy for that activity to now balance out, for us to see prices balancing out. It is good for the long-term health of our marketplace. Hopefully this has helped you put things into perspective. Any questions, please reach out.